4 against the Great Old Ones. Which 4? The Untouchable 4. And they've been pretty untouchable, I gotta tell you. Pretty resilient group of guys here. We have fought everything from ghosts to cultists to... We went to Los Angeles, and we didn't even have to deal with any weird producers. Well, actually, we did. We met a weird movie director, kind of a Quentin Tarantino guy. He wanted us to film zombie feet. It was weird. He gave us 10 days to go film some aliens or ghouls. We couldn't find any. We looked in New Orleans. All we found were cultists and a statue of Cthulhu and some carvings, some bizarre carvings. So we took a day of rest. We flew to New York. We drove up to the Catskills. There's a nice little ticking clock here. The world is going to end in 40 days. We are on day 31, and we've arrived at the Catskill Mountains, where we can do a number of different things. We have 3 helpers with us. We have a pilot that lets us travel quickly across the map. Interesting little point crawl here. You can fly from any airplane to any airplane. So we flew to New York, and then we didn't stick around. We didn't investigate. We just drove up to the Catskills. That took us 2 days. See, the flying is a cheat code, except from Boston, man, if you want to get up to Innsmouth, it's another day, another day, another day. I mean, you're burning 6 out of your 40 days. That's a lot of time, man. That's like a sixth of your time just spent traveling. So we're not going to recruit. We're not going to rearm. We got everything we need. We do have a couple of sticks of dynamite. I'm hanging on to those just in case. When we get to the Catskill Mountains, one of the guys that we found out in the swamps, we got a Cajun guide who knows everything there is to know about the swamps and about the mountains. And one of the nice things about this game is that I think it's got some pretty decent replayability because every one of these locations has at least 6 events that you can encounter. And some of them, like New Orleans, when you're done investigating the town, it might unlock the swamps outside of New Orleans. And that's where we found our guide who took us to the weird cultists dancing around a fire, singing weird songs, banging on the drums. But we're in the Catskills now, where you can recruit or investigate. And we can't rest here. But if we wanted to recruit, we could get a new spy if one of our guys died. Oh, who are our 4? They're the Untouchables, like I said. Elliot Ness is a private investigator. Jim Malone is a veteran. George Stone is a gangster. Now, all of those were level 2 guys. We leveled them up. And then we have Oscar Wallace. He was the accountant in the movie. We called him a professor. So it's 3 dude bros, and they're like Poindexter mascot. You know how it is. If this was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, this would be Donatello. Every quartet has to have one of those, apparently. So, we can get dynamite in the Catskills. But as I said, what we really want to do, we've only got 10 days, is check for encounters. You can only encounter each of these 6 things once, so we have to keep track of that. And on day 31 so we're a month into this investigation, with a +1 to our roll, we encounter number 4. You visit an isolated asylum on the mountains and meet an intern who claims to have invented a telepathic device. He uses it to communicate with a patient who seems to have visions of worlds beyond the wall of sleep. If you have Tillinghast's machine, the intern inventor will trade it with a random arcane item. An investigator can immediately use the telepathic machine to enter the dreamlands. Well, we do have Tillinghast's machine, kind of. I kind of traded it in for a clue, but now that I've done this, I think you want to hang on to those. The Elder Sign and the Arcane Machine, if we'd hung on to those, is it a little cheat if I say you really want to hang on to your arcane items until the end? When you have 9 of them, that's when you turn in your clues. All right, we're learning. And because we want to get through more of this stuff, I want to show you more of it. I want to spoil it. I want to hopefully convince you to buy a copy yourself. It's only, what does it say here? It doesn't say. It's like, it cost me like $14 on Amazon. Get yourself a copy. There's still, with everything I showed you, there's still just a whole nother world to discover in here. So let's just say that we had the Tillinghast machine so we can see what the Dreamlands does. Now, that was a number 4, so I should probably write that down on my little travel log. So 31, we are in the Catskills, and we have traveled to number 4. The Dreamlands means, on reading this a little closer, I don't think we need to trade. I don't think we need Tillinghast's machine. It says if we have the machine, we can trade it for a different arcane item, but we don't need another random arcane item. We would have just traded that in anyway. So instead, but it does say you can use this invention that this crackpot has invented to travel via the Dreamlands, and that means we get to go. It says if you discard a silver key before entering the Dreamlands, add +1 to your die rolls. Before each roll on this table, test your sanity 5. Ooh. If the investigator becomes insane, remove him from the game. Well, who's going to go into the Dreamlands? Let's send Oscar in. He's expendable, isn't he? I think we want to send in somebody with lore instead of fighting, but I haven't read this yet. I'm exploring. I'm discovering as we play. That's the whole point of these things, right? All right, before each roll on this table, including the first, test your sanity 5. We need to get a 5 or a 6, which we do. He's got 6 sanity. That's the other reason we want to send him. He's got 6 chances on this table. And then we roll to see what happens. We get a 1. Traveling north, you reach the cold and desolate plateau of Leng. You barely escape from an encounter with a high priest not to be described. Lose 1 life. All right, so he's down to 3 life. Roll again with a -1. We get a 3. Traveling west, you reach the large city of Dilath Lean with its tall towers of basalt. Now we roll, and we have another encounter with the high priest. We are down to 2 hit points. Oh, shoot, I forgot we need to check our sanity. For the second roll, we're okay. And for the third roll, we lose 1 point of sanity. We are down to 5. And now we are on to our 4th roll. Our sanity is okay. And then we roll, boy, let's see, traveling east, you reach the magnificent city of Celiphius and visit the Rose Crystal Palace of the 70 Delights. The galleons of Celiphius may help you on your journey. You may exit the Dreamlands now or roll again with a +2. Okay. Sanity, we lose a point. But with a result of a 7. Oh, let me mark that off here. So our sanity is down to 4. We've got 2 life. You find a passage on the painted galley that brings you to the marble cloud city of Serenian. In the ethereal space where the sea meets the sky, you find a clue. Exit the Dreamlands and return to the party's current location. We're up to 2 clues. Oh, we're getting close, guys. We just need to find 1 more arcane item. It's day, and that was all just in 1 day. We traveled to the Catskills. We investigated. We met a crazy inventor, and we went to the Dreamlands. And that takes us back to the Catskills, where we roll with a bonus of 1. We get a 2. A thunderstorm breaks out as you explore the countryside. Again, I'll remind you, we cannot visit the isolated asylum again. We'd rolled a 4. I think we keep re-rolling until we get something new, or maybe it's just nothing happens. You find shelter in a remote cabin. A helper briefly looks out the window and gets their face gnawed off by mysterious lightning-fast beasts, which immediately disappears in the storm. Test sanity 3, remove a helper. If you don't have helpers... All right, we lost the cameraman. Sorry, Mr. Cameraman. Boop. So we're down to the pilot and the guide. But we have to test sanity 3. So this is getting a little ugly. I don't have time to rest. So the isolated cabin... Sanity 3. I roll a 3 for Elliot. Jim gets a 3. George gets a 3. Oscar, baby. Keep it rolling. Oh, boy. Oscar is down to just 3 sanity. And I still need to check. Ooh, this could be a problem. My guide is going to be fine, and my pilot is going to be... I got to roll it in there. My pilot goes crazy. He only had 1 sanity. Seeing how, nonchalant we were about... the cameraman getting eaten, he's like, that could be me. Beast eats cameraman, and pilot goes crazy. And that's it for day 32. I wonder if we want to go, we just need to find 1 more arcane item. I wonder if we've only got 8 days left. I wonder if we want to drive back to New York City. Or do we keep rolling on this? Oh boy. Let's roll 1 more time in the Catskills. We do not have the +1, unfortunately. That one was ugly, man. We lost 2 helpers, a couple of more points. We get a 1, nothing of interest, just a group of repellent scions of a primitive colonial stock looking at you with hostility. Roll again on the next day with a +1. We get a 5, so day 33 is nothing. And then on day 34, we get a 5. Rumors of dark practices on sorry about that. On Tempest Mountain lead you to the Martense Mansion, Martense, which has been deserted since the owning family disappeared a long time ago. While you're searching, a group of white gorilla things crawls out of the fireplace and attacks. White apes. This is like a portal to Barsoom. Test Sanity 3. D6 ape men. All right, well, let's test Sanity 3 first. Elliot is trying to get a, what was it? Sanity 3. Elliot's fine. What about Jim? Jim loses a point. George loses a point. Well, they have 4 apiece, so they'll be all right. And then, thank goodness, Oscar, he's only got 3 points of sanity left. I do still have, do I have my guide? I think my guide is still with us. I'll check for him. He's gone too. My helpers, I'm out of helpers. They've all gone insane. They've all run off. How many of these things are there? 3 ape men. We get to go first. There's only 3 of them. Level 4. I'm at +2 for Elliot. He takes 1 of them out. I am at a total of +3 for Jim. He's going to take 1 out. George is at +3. He's going to take 1 out. And Oscar is also going to take 1 out. I am impressed, Oscar. No, he got a 3. He did not. So we only took out 3 of them. And that means our 3 meat shields. Elliot needs to roll a 3 or better. Jim needs to roll a 3 or better and does not. He takes a point of damage, as does... So we are down to 7 hit points for George. And old Jim Malone is down to 5. Now, we can't rest in the Catskills. That may be an issue. We may be resting to day 40 if we can find 1 more arcane device. But we have to get through this fight first. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Elliot is going to score a kill. And Jim, with his +3, will score a kill. And then there's only 1 left. Oh, no, there's only 3 of them. You know what? Shoots. I guess we'll say there were 5. We made the fight tougher than it needed to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were 3. I shouldn't have taken that damage. And the good news is that means that we are up to 14. Alternatively, I can level up one of my guys. Elliot is going to level up with a result of a 5. That's more than 2. So he goes to level 3. And when you're level 3 as an investigator, your life goes to 8 and your sanity goes to 6. So he now has 7 hit points. I need another level before his attack goes up. If I really wanted to do the combat monster, I probably should have leveled Jim Malone. But he is hurt. Maybe I should have leveled... Oh, now that Jim Malone... I forgot. George Stone used his submachine gun. All right, so we win the fight. We got that going for us. And then it says, the first time any investigator is hit in combat, he also loses one of their weapons. Oh, my goodness. How many people were hit? I guess we dropped the empty submachine gun. And I guess we lose 1 stick of dynamite, maybe? I don't know. I forgot to check. I got to read ahead one more time. It's getting late. Trying to get through this. Hope you guys don't mind if I kind of cheated a little bit there in my favor. I assure you it was inadvertent. If the 8 men are defeated, the investigators find documents proving these were the members of the vast clan of the Martens, horribly mutated after centuries of inbreeding. The documents hit at the location of a catacomb where the main clan dwells. From now on, you can choose entry 6 without rolling as your activity for the day. Yeah, totally. That's what we're doing. So day 35. We're going into the caves of the Catskills. Catskill Caves. So I haven't been writing down the encounters here for the Catskills. But since we haven't rolled a 6, that's going to be on this day. And then we have, under a large mound on Tempest Mountain, you find the entrance to a labyrinthine catacomb, home to a large clan of degenerate mutants. You can end the encounter and return to this entry in the future, or you can keep reading. That's what we're going to do. Oh, that's an interesting point. we need to, if we wanted to, we could spend day 36 and 37 going back to New York. And then we could spend day 38 healing, and then 39 and, well, yeah, we wouldn't be able to make it back in time. So we're just going to have to go for it, guys. The ticking clock makes this game brutal. We're gonna keep going. A loathsome night spawned flood of organic corruption erupts from the passage, seething, stewing, surging, bubbling like serpent slime. A horde of dwarfed, deformed, hairy apes erupts out of that yawning hole. Test sanity 4. 2d6 plus 20 monkey men. Level 3 animal minions. At the beginning of each defense round, D3 new ones join the fight. Each hit removes 2 enemies instead of 1. Only enemies actually killed count for XP. If you defeat all enemies, find a random arcane item. All right. Okay, this is crazy, man. So we have to fight 26 level 3 minions. 26 mutant apes. We are going after the white apes, and they are level 3 minions. But every hit takes out 2. And after, what does it say here? It says at the beginning of each defense round. All right, so first we do our attacks. And then at the beginning of the defense round, which might have been the case in the other battle. Oops. So the first thing that happens is Elliot Ness is going to roll. Yeah, we really could have used that extra bonus. All right, well, he's going to roll. And since these are level 3 minions, a result of a 6, we'll take out 2 of them. So yeah, the running battle here is going to be a little weird. There's 26, so there's 2 dead. I'm going to have to do like a plus and minus. -2 for Elliot. Then Jim is at +3. He's going to kill 3 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then George goes with a +3. He's going to kill 2 more. And then finally Oscar with a -1 is going to do no good. All right. We killed 7 of these guys. But 3 more. Oh, we killed 7, but 7 ran away. All right. So I got to keep track of that too. So we're down to 12. And I have a little running tally here. So I've killed 7, and I've got 7 fled, which leaves us with 12 altogether, plus the 2 means we are at 14. All right, so 14. Oh boy. Level 3 minions. Whew. That's a lot of attacks. This is where it gets really ugly. Because there's 14 of them, each one of our guys is going to get attacked 3 times. So I'll roll 3 dice, and we need to get a 3 or better to save. We're going to save 2 of them. Elliot takes 1 hit. Then Jim is going to save 2 of them, and he's down to 4. Boy, we really could have used that nurse, huh? George is going to, oops, let's roll that in the box, is going to take 1 hit point and dodge the other 2. And then Oscar is going to fail 2 of those and be down to just 1 hit point. He's only got 1. Oh, wait. He's going to dodge 2. No, you know what? I take it back. Bing, bang, dead. All right, our professor died. Died. And I think he took the dynamite with him. We may be able to recover that after this fight. I'm not sure. I'll check. Where does that leave us? Well, that was only 12 of the attacks. I still have 2 more attacks. Elliot's going to take 1, and he's going to be fine. And George is going to take 1, and he's going to be fine, because George has 6 hit points. Now it's our turn to attack again, and Elliot is going to score a total of 8, which will remove 2 of them. Jim is going to take out 4, plus 2, plus 1. That's 7. Oh, I'm sorry. These are level 3 minions. 2, 4. So we kill 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And then 4 more flee. So that means we have killed... Oh boy, the math gets delightful here. So we got 11 fled out of the... And then what was it? So 29 altogether. We started with 26. We killed 7. 7 ran away. And then we added 2 more. So we, out of 28 altogether, here's where the tally stands. 14 minus the 4 that we killed takes us down to 10. Minus the 4 that fled takes us down to 6. All right, I think I got it. I think I ran the math right. Kind of a fun little mini game here. I don't know about you guys. I kind of enjoy this stuff. The last attack for us is going to be George Stone, who's going to roll 6 plus 2 for the attack plus 1 for the mighty gun. He's going to kill 3 more of them. 1, 2, 3. 3 more are going to run away. And because there were 6, we really needed that 6. End of the fight. Okay? He's going to pick up the dynamite. He's got the TNT. I don't know if that might be a little bit cheap, but I think we're going to need that TNT here in the last boss battle, which I think we're almost to. Okay. We're hurting. We don't have a whole lot of hit points left. 6, 4, 6. Sanity is really in shape. But we lost our lore expert. We did score 14 more experience points. So that would take us to 18. I'm going to spend 10. And that leaves us with 8 experience points. And that 10, now we have to decide. If I roll this, I need to roll 4, 5, or 6 to level up so I get the extra attack here. I'm going to level up Jim Malone. With a 3, he goes to level 3. And his life goes up to 9. And his attack goes up to plus 3. I think we're going to need that power up. Because each hit from a firearm dynamite, kills 2 enemies. If you defeat all enemies, you find a random arcane item in the catacomb. Okay, now this does get to be kind of important here. And I didn't think about this. And you guys have probably commented on the first 2 videos. This is chapter 3, of course. You definitely do want to roll on this arcane chart. Because if you get the same result twice, I got a 3. So I got a chiseled lamp. But if I find 2 arcane items and they're both silver keys, I can trade both of those in for 1 clue. If you're lucky, you only need to find 6 of these things. I had to find 6 plus a clue in the Dreamlands, which took some bonkers rolling. And that's important because if I had 2 of the same items, I could have kept this Elder Sign, which would come in really handy in the boss fight. If you hit the boss fight with the Elder Sign, I think you win the game outright. As it is, I trade in the chiseled lamp, the Cthulhu statue, and the carvings, the translated carvings that Oscar Wallace put together for us. And we go to the penultimate roll for the game. Bear in mind, I've been playing this as a gaming thing. I'm getting through the die rolls quickly. This would make a very fun journaling game. What all happened here? I mean, we started off on the East Coast, and then we started in the Midwest. We started in Chicago. We followed clues to San Francisco. Actually, our boy got sucked through a gate. We had to go rescue him. We had to go sober him up. We had to get him out of San Francisco because that's enough to drive anybody crazy. Down to Los Angeles, met a movie producer who wanted creepy things out of us. Also, he wanted us to film some aliens. Down to New Orleans. Man, we're all over the country in just this 40 days. Kind of impressive. All the clues that we got. We trade them all in, and now we roll a 3d6, and this is the chart that we're going to compare to. There are, look at this. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, let's see. Shub-Niggurath is the same each time. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different final encounters. As it is, I roll the 3d6, I get a 5, and we're fighting old Dagon. What does that mean? Well, you go to the final encounter. The first thing to be aware of is that you can begin it in Boston, Salem, or Kingsport. So we're in the Catskill Mountains on day 35. It's going to take us 2 days to get to Boston, day 36, day 37. I'm going to spend 2 days resting and relaxing. Maybe I need, I'm actually going to take a look at the Boston because I want to see, we could recruit some allies. We could get some additional weapons, maybe another submachine gun if that's available to us. But you got to look, rest, equip, recruit. And then it says equip. We can get a bat, a harpoon, a sword stick, a gun. If you can use experimental weapons, you can get a modified Crook's tube. Oh, I think that's like a, I don't know, man. I don't know what a modified Crook's tube is. Like an RPG, like a primitive RPG. All right, well, none of this is going to do us any good. None of this is a power-up. We do have the TNT. We may want to use that as a last resort. I love it. So that being the case, we're going to go ahead and I'm really afraid of this corpse city of Yahanith-Lay. So I'm going to spend 2 days resting to get my guys back up to health. And then on day 40, that's when we're going in. So everybody should be up to, because I think this is, well, he's not full health. So Jim Malone, Mr. Chicago Way himself, is only at 6 hit points, or 7 hit points. It's getting a little scratchy here because everybody's leveled up. So we traded all those in. We got 3 clues. And I may have missed a couple of rolls here or there. I might have missed a couple of rules, but by and large, I think this is an interesting way of showing you guys what the end game looks like. We can take a little bit more time because we had a few days in hand. And it says here in Dagon, you can begin in Boston. There we go. A captain accepts to bring you to Yahanith-Lay on his small vessel. That must have been what the carvings were. They were like a date and a location out in the shoals around Boston Harbor. During the trip, you may recruit up to 3 sailors as helpers. Each has 2 life and 1 sanity. Next, you must find your way through the grotesque colonnades and monolithic shrines. Roll on the table below and resolve encounters as normal until the game reaches its end. Uh-oh. Okay. When in the abyssal city of Yahanith-Lay, you can only flee once. If you own a map, which we do not, you can discard it to re-roll. All helpers must participate in all encounters. If you destroyed Innsmouth, which we didn't, it's probably a thing that could happen, you reduce the number of deep ones in each encounter by half. As an attack action, you can discard a harpoon to eliminate 1 deep 1 minion automatically or inflict 1 wound on a deep 1 boss. All right. It doesn't say... Okay, so first of all, it turns out we can take 3 sailors with us. You can recruit 3 sailors. And we're going to fight this like running battle through this last encounter. Those sailors have 2 life and 1 sanity. So 2, 2, 2. And then they have a sanity of 1, 1, 1. Okay. So if they fail, the thing is, and I keep writing down 1 sanity, but most of these helpers, they only have 1 sanity. If you fail a sanity check, they're out of the game. That's the case here. It says here, congratulations, you win the game. So we got to roll a 6 and fight the boss deep one. And if we don't roll a 6, on a 1, we take a wrong turn. The putrescent fetor of the city and spectacle of the detestable carvings are straining the morale of the group. All right, we got to test sanity. This may be a lot of dice rolling. I don't know how cinematic this is going to be. We have to make a sanity check 3. So we'll roll 1, 2, 3 for Elliot. Well, actually, let me roll for all 3 of my sailors first. And one of them goes insane. But I can't take it. Jumps out the airlock. Now I have to check 1, 2, 3 for Elliot, Jim, and George. 1, 2, 3. So Jim is down to 4 sanity. And here's where my combat monsters are a little bit vulnerable. I don't have a lot of sanity left. I have to do it again. My 2 helpers, one of them goes insane. Okay. And now again, 1, 2, 3. Oh, we're doing pretty good. George Stone, the Italian former gangster turned FBI agent, only has 3. I'm getting a little rough here. No, he's got 4, I guess. Roll on a counter again. Okay, that's triple 1s. I'm doing great here, guys. Doing great. Our helper's okay. Elliot is going to lose a sanity. Jim is fine. And George loses a sanity. He is down to just 3. I have 5 sanity left for Elliot. Let's see if we can roll something other than a 1 here, huh? A 2. Oh, that's got to be a little better. A pit full of black corrupted water opens under your feet. Roll d6 for each investigator. On a 1 or a 2, lose a life. All right, our helper loses a life. He's only got 1 left. What about Elliot? On a 1 or a 2? 1, 2, and 3. Nobody loses a life. All right, and then we roll again. And we got to check sanity. Our helper is going to go crazy. We need a 3 or better. Our 3 sailors just couldn't hack it. They knew too much. Elliot loses a point. And he's the only one. Elliot is now down to 4 sanity. I feel like we'd do a lot better if we could fight somebody here. Another 1. All right, 1, 2, 3. So Elliot and George both lose a sanity. Down to 3 and 2. And we roll for another encounter, and we get the 6. Finally. Man, that was a lot of ones. Test sanity 5. All right, we start with that. You need a 5 or better. 1, 2, 3. Everybody fails. Elliot has 2 points left. Jim has 3. George has just 1 sanity point left. A Polyphemus-like deep one is leading the ritual to summon Father Dagon. The giant deep one is a level 6 hybrid boss with 8 life, 2 attacks per defense phase, each inflicting 2 wounds. If you defeat him, the remaining creatures in the city will flee in terror. All right, so this is our boss fight. And the first thing we're going to do, it says, okay, I'm dropping dynamite. Roll 3d6. The top die is how many wounds you do to the boss. He is down to 3 life. The bottom one is how much damage you do to yourself. George is down to 6 life. Jim, so we need to get, this is a level 6 attack. We're at +4. We need to get a 6. We do 1 more point. And then Elliot is at +2. And with an 8, he will do another one. So we have done a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. But now he gets to attack us. Who's got the most life? Elliot has all 8 hit points left. The deep one strikes and completely whiffs. I think we're going to be okay. Elliot is going to attack. He misses. Jim is going to attack. And with a 10, he's going to do the last one. If you defeat the giant deep one, the remaining creatures in the city will flee in terror. Congratulations, you win the game. There you have it. 4 against the great old ones. It took me a full evening, about 2 hours, 2.5 hours of playtime, just to let you know. Now, we broke that up into 3 separate videos, give you guys 3 different pieces of content, a little different from our usual, but that's okay. We're gamers here, man. We like all different kinds of games. So we could have a little bit of fun, dropping some references in here. There's Big Winged Scaly himself. If you don't have a boat handy to ram his head, dynamite works a treat. I think we would have been okay in that fight because we went full combat monster. But again, if we had rolled a couple of more sanity checks, we had 2 guys on 1 or 2 sanity points. We could very easily have been faced with Elliot Ness facing Dagon by himself. We got pretty lucky on the whole, but we beat the game in our first try. And maybe we made, again, like I said, maybe there's a few rolls we missed, few not really being careful, but it's a pretty robust game, and there's a lot more to it. As you can see, for all of the hopping about America, this is just in America. Although if you have Nyarlathotep, I think you get to take a plane to Egypt. But there's some interesting things going on in this point crawl. You can fly to Boston, but then I think there's probably like a northern game that focuses more on the kind of classic Lovecraftian stories. We didn't spend a whole lot of time there, right? We got up into Boston, and then that was about it. The stuff that we did down here, kind of on the West Coast, East Coast, Midwest, like the whole rest of the country is kind of a southern playthrough. But that's largely driven by the fact that at the start of the game, you start on a random location. There's 6 starting locations. If you start in Boston, then you can start kind of crawling around. You don't need a pilot to get from point to point. You can just kind of dive in. So again, I think it was like $14 for this, man. Fun evening. Can't beat that with sticks. Better than, like they say, poking the eye with a sharp stick. And if you're a fan of Lovecraft's writing, if you're a fan of Call of Cthulhu, why wouldn't you be? You're watching this channel, then I highly recommend this. I want to thank Wema for pointing this out and suggesting that I play one of the 4 against. And I gotta be honest with you. I think the fact that the angels were watching over us probably helped a little bit. Hope you guys enjoyed this playthrough. Let me know if you want to see more of this style content. If you like me reading through these choose your own adventure style kind of games, then we can do more of this. But in the meantime, we'll probably get back to more miniature wargaming. Until next time, big ups to Elliot Ness, Jim Malone, George Stone, played by the great Andy Garcia, James Bond, and Kevin Costner. Dances with cultists himself, put down the lead boss. Dagon is going to have to go back to bed. He's going to have to spend a few more centuries in Yaha Nithle because, for once, the deep state was fighting against the demons. You can tell it's a fantasy. Until next time, I'm praying for you.